this is the best way to do it. Along with just sticking around and watching the stream, enjoying the experience. Putting on a great show. Yep. On to our match.
Going into the match.
Wait, did they decline warm-up? Wait, that's kind of insane.
That's no warm-up. We're going straight in. And of course, I didn't even get my time to do predictions.
Alright. Fast C-spin from Doremy, and then goes into DT C-spin. Alright, swagging out.
Explosive into a 32! But it just leaves a little bit of mess garbage for Malashevsky's side.
Yeah, Mally, as per usual, breakneck speeds, going absolutely crazy on the survival. Greeting the mech shape, still able to open in time. Greeting Surge extremely high, and then the Z-piece misdrop will be nailed in the coffin. Doremy is ready with that punish.
Yeah, sometimes maybe I should greed more by multitasking ad reads and predictions.
Alright, Doremy, another quick C-spin, but it is slower than Mally's normal startup. But the counter spike
really
is enough.
Slow.
Yeah, this is the folly of sending to C-spin. You will get cooked if you're not careful. The adaptation does come through, but unfortunately they do get both garbage chunks in the same well. But even still, too slow to cycle to the T-piece. That's insane.
Yeah. T available and hold, but couldn't get to it in time before getting pummeled by Malashevsky.
Greeting for the T-pieces in tandem, and that is going to be lethal. Has the floating here, wastes T for the power stack. Mally's damage is able to persist, but it's not going to be lethal.
It does leave a lot of messy garbage on Doremy's side, basically. And with a deficit in hand to deal with.
Unfortunately, Mally broke at a time where Doremy was most prepared for it, so Doremy is going to reclaim the surge advantage, though Mally is not far behind.
Oh, I think that was not ideal for Doremy. Fumbling up the stack and having to change plans and clean it up.
Insane greed from Doremy to even get to that force surge threshold, but they are going to be handsomely rewarded with a lethal spike.
Lil, you should not hand me any sort of control of the board whatsoever.
Alright, Mally realizes that the adaptation was fine, they just got unlucky last time. Gonna do the exact same thing, not sending immediate clean to the C-spin. So Doremy is gonna have to work a little bit harder for an opening advantage.
Here. But that's, I think, relying more on the material getting received and trying to trip up Doremy, which does make them pop that surge. So now retaliating quite aggressively to try to claw back that lead difference.
Yeah, very unfortunate timing for Doremy. They got a decent surge, but it was to the point where whenever they broke, it was going to be clean. So it either had to be lethal, or it was just net negative by holding on to it, so... Mally did have that punish. They now have the KallMeSt4r, so they're going to be able to compound this advantage for some time. Doremy stuck in the 8-1. Mally cashes out. Doremy cashes out for the counter spike. Not going to be lethal in either regard. Going to return to neutral slightly. Doremy's greedy for the C-spin. It's not real.
Well, that's
Miss
very
Rose
tight.
still has the immediate survival. Overhangless greed for what? There's no back-to-back! Doremy, no!
KFC dinner for all this. Are you insane?
These players got the Midas touch. The board state turns to gold, but it's unusable. Insane misdrop from Mally, and Doremy does have the immediate punish. This seems to be a very common theme in this matchup. One person greets for something, misdrops, and the other opponent just ready.
Ready to punish on that mistake. Hey, Spoonie, guess what? We got a TKI.
Mally does not greed for the force surge, so they actually don't send Doremy more than necessary.
Yeah, but does push Doremy up, forcing a pop.
Mally doesn't have the most accessible material, so that L piece
I also
comes
saw
too late.
Doremy trying to attempt an ice spin. I saw that setup.
If it works, it works.
We do be gaming.
Alright, another C-spin from Doremy. Not able to tank the immediate, but does have the
DT
cannon.
cannon.
Mally just doing overall clean stacking, rejects the I-spin, but they're going to be rewarded with a 35 spike. It's not going to be quite lethal, so Doremy has so much clean at the ready. Trying to make it to the force surge, has the count to 4. Looking for a well transfer, but they will have to break before they get there.
Very messy, so they're gonna have to change plans to try to clean that up and then just prepare for any like big attacks so they can start receiving clean again. That was incredibly dangerous to go for all spins to try to build up back to back.
That sustain is so strong from Mally. There was not a single cohesive spike in all of that, but just the raw output was enough to overpower Doremy.
There's more MS2, but Fractal from Malachevsky. It's 29.
That's a pretty good adaptation. Mally took the initially passive route knowing they were going to receive clean, and then just counter-spiked out all of Doremy.
That is all both players going for the TKI. Doremy deviating into the LSD, but that miss.
Oh no!
Oh, that is so brutal.
Yeah, very, very back and forth matchup for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, now... Okay, is this now a TKI game? Because last round we had matching TKIs, now we just get a mirrored...
Very good time for Doremy to cash out. They are going to get some cheese on the board, so Mally will be cashing out not too far after. But with a much worse board state, Doremy's going to start unloading all of their material in that 7-2 stack and tie us up. Oh, we know what's next. GG's.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that this is pretty neck and neck, so... It's anyone's game, really, even though predictions say otherwise in favor of...
Yeah, Mally was caught out of cycle. Doremy gets it.
6-7, okay, enough.
My quota!
We already had 2, please, no more.
Okay, the greed from Doremy is not real. Luckily, they're not going to go for the STSD afterwards. If they did, I probably would have lost it. Nice forecasting on the Kaidan. Has the well in call instead of looking for a good time to unload. Has to waste T for the T-spin, so Mally is going to have some more time to escape. Unfortunately, they are trapped in the fossil fuel stacking, so they're just going to be forced on defense duty.
Yep, just waiting for Doremy to pop. I think this is it. 17. 29 spike. Oh.
Doremy almost playing at 4 attack per second. Absolutely ridiculous stat line. Doremy is going to take the conservative route with the count to 4.
Oh, that was
gets the first surge as well.
Dangerous for Doremy to go for this. It seems to be just fine.
Oh, that eye waste is insane. They are going to get away with it. Mally not able to make it to the force surge. They don't have an adequate defensive tool. They have well access. Using the sandwich stacking.
Oh no, I think that Z-piece misshot from my keyboard double tap might have been the case for Doremy, because I don't think that was intentional in the slightest.
Unfortunate. Once again, deciding not to tank, but now they're allowed to go into DPC. The PC's not there, but they do have the Force Surge and an insane board state advantage, cashing out at the perfect time.
Absolutely blasting Malachevsky into the stratosphere.
Into the what?
I said what I said.
Okay, Mally gets the well in the perfect spot to turn that into a count to 4, increasing the output very, very heavily.
But Doremy
okay, that well coverage is not real. I can't believe you got rewarded for that.
And it also caught Doremy off guard out of nowhere.
There are times like this where a decision that is normally bad is actually better than intended just because the opponent isn't expecting it. Like, they look at that board state, they're like, oh yeah, they have a lot of time, and then, no, you don't.
Screw it, we ball. We tie it up.
4.7 from Ally.
Crazy. So now it kind of is that a hot G-spin?
Swag. Love to see it.
I know someone that's going to be ecstatic when they see that.
Oh, Dormy caught with not the best pieces, but Mally doesn't tank, so their attack isn't potent enough to be lethal. Dormy looking for the force surge. They now have an adequate defensive tool, looking to break this for cheese into this counter for quad, but they're still gonna be at this heavy disadvantage as Mally continues unloading all of their material. Dormy finally getting to something clean. Another force surge at the ready. Gonna take the advantage, but not by a lot.
Pops at 8, but Malashevsky has a lot of material to work with to try to push Dormy up.
Mally's gonna decline the C-spin? All-spin Brain Rot is a little bit too strong. They're just going to let Dormy equalize the situation. Has the counter spike at the ready. Dormy gets the perfect pieces! But the luck runs thin.
And now Malashevsky goes in the lead with a match point, but it's not a big difference. And both players again TKIing into an LSD stack. Well, Malashevsky is just restyling.
Oh, the tail end of that is going to be entirely cheese. If Dormy doesn't find lethal in this board state, this could be very bad for the future of this game.
And it all hangs in the balance.
Gonna find the multiplier. That's very required canceling, but the pressure's not over yet.
It is very close.
And that's so much hesitation. They're able to find the force surge for defense. But Mally's at the bottom of the board. They can do literally whatever they want right now.
No,
Dormy's at the mercy of their team to survive.
Are you
Mally
crazy?
breaks a little bit too early, but the sustain is strong.
Doremy went aggressive by playing STSD, but it didn't pay off in the slightest. That is insane. Doremy had it for like a good majority, but then Malashevsky just locks in?
Yeah. Mally able to narrowly avoid that deuce situation and take it with that clean 11.